Hi everyone and welcome to Trades of the Week with myself and no other than Keith Sullivan. Now today we are going to be speaking about some very important topics as usual, but more importantly there are some actions you do need to take because the exchanges for crypto around the world have financial troubles and there are actions you do need to take because your money might be in danger. So in today's episode you find out exactly what to do. Alright, and don't forget everyone, we have a very special thing happening for you here as well. On the 13th of July, we have a crypto training with someone that has more than 20 years of experience in the field. It's Marcus De Maria. And he will tell you during this training exactly partly what we're getting into, but more so the strategies that we're using to being successful, and also how you get started step by step and what you need, and why we believe that this will be an opportunity, well, the opportunity of the biggest transfer of wealth the world has ever seen. And also you will get to know the secrets that the fund managers won't tell you. So that is exactly what you will learn on the 13th of July. So sign up for free. You will have the link below or somewhere around here in the cyberspace. So make sure you grab your spot now before they run out. Alright, so let's dive into it. So what have happened since last week? Well, the markets are doing what they always do. It moves up and down. And looking at the Buffalo, it doesn't really matter, as you know. So looking at ACI, Albertson companies, we were almost stopped out. Keith almost fainted.
Almost.
Oh, he's still here. That's good. So we were almost stopped out by a few cents. But, you know, the market doesn't know that we even exist. So it actually this time did not get down and trigger us out. So now it's on its way back up. Let's hope and pray that it goes higher. We don't know, of course. But that being said, you have the opportunity, if you do your research, that you can get in at a better price than we did, which is good. So that's that update. And then we have some other companies. We have NV5 Global as well in an upward trend. We're slightly in profit here, 1% more specifically. And we're moving the stop loss to break even, just to lock in those profits. Well, it is, you see, it's a little bit above break even, which means that we cannot lose money now unless it really gaps down, which is rare it does. That's why we're also avoiding earnings, because during earnings, then it creates a little bit of uncertainty and it can move because it's a surprise in the market. But currently, hopefully, we get out around break even if it goes against us. Going over rapidly to Coty Inc. This was no trade because, and this is why, right? This is important, especially if you're new and you haven't heard this before. We use a stop order, which means that when we place an order below the current price and it needs to move in our direction to allow us to get in. So in this case, it just continued to move up. So instead of us having a loss, then we never got in because it never moved in our direction before it went higher. So this was no trade. It went too high. So now we are recalculating this a bit to see, will we still have a good trade here because it is on its way down. Currently, we don't have the reward risk ratio because we are looking for a very specific reward risk ratio, which is
3-1.
He passed. So that means for every $1 you're risking, we are supposed to make at least 3. So we are now waiting for a smaller red candle. And I'm colorblind. I have no clue if this is green or red. But another red one. Keith will tell me when that happens. I'm not that colorblind, but almost, a little bit. Almost. And then we have the next one, which is OAS, Oasis. And we have a ghost. This is the famous ghost pattern. And what happens is they might be updating the chart. We saw it yesterday, and unfortunately, we were stopped out. So we had a 1% loss on Oasis. So that's a boo, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens there. And that was an oil company as well. So that was really the update. We have locked in 1% or have the stop loss at break even, and then we have a 1% loss here. So that being said, Keith, what is happening in the market and what can we expect over the next week?
Oh, great question. So in regards to the market, it's still the same conversations that we're having around the economy. Are we now heading into a recession? And the time is almost up for us to know if the recession is around the corner, because the GDP announcement for Q2 is happening this month. So around I think it's the 28th, so end of month, we will know if we have a second negative GDP, which shows us an indication of a recession in the US. Now, if you don't know what the GDP is, it's basically just saying is the economy growing or shrinking. So that's the first bit of news. Now, there was positive news last week in regards to the PCE. Okay, and this is one of the main indicators the Federal Reserve used to dictate inflation. And PCE stayed at the same level, so it hasn't increased. It's actually topped out, they're saying. But core PCE has actually dropped a tiny bit since its all-time high of 40 years. So that is an indication that potentially we might be seeing a slowing down of inflation, which is actually great. Now, Federal Reserve really came out and said, oh, but that, the consumer spending is still looking good. There is household savings. But what they don't tell you is household savings is looking good, but that's 10% of high earners, right? And what's happening to the 90% of the overall population? How much are they saving? That's not really stipulated in the figures. And also in regards to consumer spending, yes, people are still spending into the economy, but they're using debt. So it's not physical, it's not their money. They are accumulating debt and they are spending it into the economy. So this is something which can cause a bit more of a downturn in the US economy. Now, the biggest thing that may happen, yes, we've got the GDP, we're talking about inflation, but it's also Q2 earnings. So naturally, in a recessionary environment, earnings is normally down around 15 to 18% on average. Right now, the earnings are down around 5%. So we could be seeing tighter margins in Q2, so really big hits on earnings for big companies, which then could cause the next leg down, as they would say in the market. So our interpretation is, okay, Federal Reserve are trying to pump positivity back into the economy, back into the environment. But with all the news around there, we're still seeing inflation being high, we're still seeing debt increasing, and now we're seeing margins really tightening within bigger companies. So all of that together, we could potentially see a further drop in the market. And if that happens, we know what to do, right? What would you do if it drops further?
Panic!
No,
we follow.
That was the wrong answer. So you didn't pass that time. No, but we just want to follow the FCA strategy. It's accumulation time. Remember, Warren Buffett says the money will go from the impatient to the patient. So it's time to accumulate as that market falls. Once again, getting into the fundamentally strong companies, so we know our money is safe. So don't panic. Keep up to date on trades of the week, and we'll keep you updated with what's happening in the economy. But we're still in the same phase, really. There's not much to really say about that.
Yeah, but not only that, right? So what I want to say there as well, we're trading as well with the buffaloes. We're hedged. We make money as it goes down and as it goes up. So in that sense, you're hedged. And we can look at the two ones we're adding this week, but there are some points I want to make here. So we're adding two longs. And even though the market in the longer term, medium to longer term, and as a longer term, maybe over the next year or so, is looking bearish. We just see what we're seeing in the news. But shorter term, as you said, we might have a shorter term recovery, which is why we're looking here for two longs. So Paychex Inc. We are at a good support level. We have a nice green candle, a great reward risk ratio at 3.7 here, which means for every dollar you're risking, we can make 3.7. So that's the first one. The second one we're looking at is APA Corporation, and we are looking here at a nice green reversal candle. For those of you a bit more advanced, it does look a little bit like a hammer, a doji hammer, and that usually indicates that the market might reverse. So we're looking at a great reward risk ratio on this one as well. So those are the two trades we're putting on. But remember, we're putting in a stop order, so it needs to move in our direction before we get in. So that's really the buffaloes for this week. And the reason I think I'm really excited about. Are you excited?
So excited.
Well, he does look excited. But the reason we're excited is because you don't make money in the bear market. You don't make money when you sell, right? When you take profit, you think you make money. Well, you are, but the real money is made when you're buying. Because if we get a chance to buy these companies at a 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% discount, as long as it's a quality company and it will recover over time, that's when you make the real money, really. So I know it's scary, but make sure, and that's what we're doing. We're investing into quality companies, quality cryptos. So when the turn happens, we'll be ready. And then we have a lot more capital invested than if it only fell 20% with a VC, CC, and small cap strategy. So we're actually really excited about this. So that being said, let's jump over to cryptos as well. So shorter term in stocks, we're looking for maybe a move up, and then let's see what the news says and how the economy develops. But now it doesn't look too good. And speaking about the economy as well, Bitcoin has moved down quite a bit. We had a great reversal yesterday, actually, where we had a big move to the upside. And actually, we were in a breakout trade with our gold clients. We were actually up 2%. Now it looks to be coming down a little bit again. So we'll see what happens. But Michael Burry, he is one who predicted the crash in 2007-8. And he says now that he thinks we're halfway through. We haven't seen the worst yet. So it might be one thing to take into consideration. But the real thing that you need to think about is what strategy are you using? Because it doesn't really matter if we're only halfway through as long as you have a solid strategy. Okay, great. We have the Buffalo doing shorts. We make money on the way down. All right, awesome. On the companies, we are actually able to invest at lower prices. The same with cryptos. I mean, if Bitcoin went to 10,000, would you be happy?
100%.
100%, because we have money to invest, right? Because that's part of our strategy. So comment below, what are you doing during these times? So are you excited? Are you panicking? And how can we support you? So comment below, what are you doing? How are you feeling? What strategy are you actually using? So that being said, if we have a look here, we have Bitcoin is down a bit and all the cryptos are down a bit then as well. So we haven't really been oscillating sideways. Now the question is, are we doing something similar that we did in May, June, where we're going sideways and then for another leg down? It might be something similar here. So there's two things we're waiting for. Number one, either we break above the latest high in the shorter term to get a shorter term push, or we can break below the lowest level created now a few weeks ago, and then that will bring us down probably to $14,000, maybe even $10,000. So we'll have to see. Currently we're consolidating, a good range to be trading, but in terms of the direction, we will see. But currently the longer term is bearish for cryptos as well. So what should you do? Well, there's a couple of things you can do, but the most important answer is have a strategy that you know what to do beforehand. Dollar cost averaging, which is one of the most famous ones, which means you buy a little bit every month to get an average price. But we believe that the price of Bitcoin will exceed 67,000 eventually. So if you buy now, well, that's a discount. If it goes down even further, well, that's a bigger discount. So we really just need to wait and see. But what about the exchanges? Well, we are seeing with this downtrend in the market, we're seeing exchanges. You saw Celsius, one of the biggest platforms for lending, actually have frozen withdrawals because they have financial issues. One of the big funds, right, crypto funds or hedge funds, the Three Arrows, actually went bankrupt. They got belly up and they were out of money. So there were some exchanges that were actually lending money to the Three Arrows, including Voyager, who was actually a good exchange. And what happened to Voyager was now that they have financial issues as well. There's rumors that both KuCoin and Huobi is laying off 30% of their staff. They're looking for investors. There's rumors that KuCoin, the same there, have financial problems. So what we are doing is, and what we always urge everyone to do, is to keep roughly 80% on wallets such as Ledger, and then we can have some money on the exchange to sell, but only on the biggest exchanges. And we are using Binance, Coinbase, Kraken as well, and we are on the lookout to see what happens. But I hope nothing happens with KuCoin and Huobi. I think they're gonna stay, but I don't wanna risk anything. So we have moved our money off those exchanges just to prepare. But the CEOs has gone out and said there's no problem, no issues. And the same Celsius CEO did the same, went out and said, look, there's no issues. But what happened then just a few days later was that they actually froze all withdrawals. So we have to see what happens. But be careful, only look on the big exchanges and have most of the money in wallets. That's what we're doing. So looking at the markets here, I mean, look, we're seeing here that Solana, and which is also a really good project, they're launching a phone next year. So they're looking to be turning into Apple. The presentation were very Apple-like. And Solana is currently down a lot, right? From the high, we're seeing, I mean, from $240 down to $34. That's what I call a bear market. But we think it's a great project. We think they do very well. And now when they're launching products, that's another revenue stream for them, which we really like. So Solana is definitely one to have a look at. And that's pretty much it, right? And the same goes for Michael Saylor. So Michael Saylor, you know, he said the founder of MicroStrategy, and they're buying more Bitcoin. And people are saying, well, how can they become buying more Bitcoin? Because that's the strategy. They buy Bitcoin on the way down. So you need to decide what's your strategy. So this is a bit long, but I think it's very important, all these points. So anything you would add there on crypto? Solana is one good to get into?
Yeah, so Solana, I think Solana's a good project in regards to the blockchain itself, improving what Ethereum can't at the minute. They're improving speed, they're cheaper, easier to utilize. So no, I think Solana has real potential here. Only objection that they have to, kind of challenge they have to overcome is getting so many transactions, so TPS per transaction per second, and then getting overwhelmed. As long as they could get past that, I think it could be one that could really be used for the future. Now, obviously, with cryptocurrency, we are still seeing a move downwards, but if you're looking on the on-chain analysis, the bigger whales are buying and moving it off the exchanges now. So that's a great sign that this is a price that people are willing still to buy and then move it off the exchanges into wallets, meaning they're not thinking about selling in the next month, next 2 months, next 3 months. They're like, right, I've got a great price now. I'm going to accumulate and I'm going to hold off the exchange. And then when price comes on, we'll then move it back. But I think we're in the same phase, and we could see all-time highs being created with Bitcoin, especially when halving happens. Again, with Bitcoin, that could cause another bullish extension up. And they're saying when the next halving happens, it could go to 100,000. And that was an ex-JP Morgan executive who brought that out. So yeah, great time with crypto, accumulate, but just make sure you are following the strategy and you are liquid. The worst thing someone can do is try and buy 6,000 coins all at once and then not have any money to follow the strategy all the way down. So let's follow the strategy, bring the average cost down, and when the market does recover, and I say when and not if, because we know it will recover, then we're going to make that profit. Right?
Well, we hope it will recover.
The bigger coins.
Yeah, we're putting our money where our mouth is. So we're absolutely investing, we're accumulating, because that's part of our strategy. But we're using risk management. So 20% of our assets, so if you have property, stocks, whatever you have, 20% of those we have in crypto. So we're still managing our risk properly. The upside is huge, but also, as you can see, the downside is quite severe as well. So we're buying into the top coins, right? Averaging on those because they're really cheap at the moment. Cardano, Polkadot, Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin. Anyone else? Let's see here. Ripple, yeah, XRP as well. Exactly. So some of the biggest ones, the blockchains, the infrastructures.
But I think in regards to a bearish market, one of the famous things is when there's a bearish market and a tide comes out, you're going to see who's swimming without their shorts on, right? And that is so true for cryptos and stocks. The ones who are not meant to survive or the ones who are not worth to be in the market, they're going to get shaken out during these type of bearish moves. So now that's why we really want to focus on the top coins with the larger market caps, because we believe they are the safest approach.
Yeah. Keith believes they have their shorts on. That's what you really say.
I believe they still got their shorts on,
exactly.
Yeah. I hope, anyway.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump over to stocks as well to wrap this up. So VCA as well, our long-term investments. There's not really much to say more than look over your positions. Are there any more you need to add, any more positions? But they've just been going sideways, basically up a little bit and down a little bit over the last couple of days. Looking at one to add is Walmart. We think they will do really well. They have a lot of consumer goods which have increased in prices, but that's always something people need. Yeah. So currently down 23% from the high, and I think it's a great opportunity to invest into something like Walmart. They have great earnings, great profits, low debt, exactly the company we would like to see. It's a global company and they have a lot of different products, which is important as well. Because if they only had one product and that went belly up, that's a big problem. But now they have, of course, a lot of different ones. So that's pretty much it, actually. So that is it for Trades of the Week. We need to look at the results as well, and the results are not really that much to speak about today. We have a 1% loss on Buffalo. That's a boo! Not great. However, we're still up 63.2% since August 2020, which is still pretty good. And looking at VCA, we're up 1,025% on the money invested, and with cryptos, 1,510% on the CCA, 4,320% on small cap. However, we are down, right, on our current positions, but that's part of the strategy. We're loading our boat for the next bull market to come, and then this will, of course, go up. So our overall portfolio is not up this much. This is just profits taken off the table. Very important to mention that. So that being said, everyone, don't forget that on the 13th of July, we do have the crypto webinar or seminar, so make sure you join that. It's a free chance for you to get involved with this incredible market where you'll learn the strategies you should use. And not only that, you will also learn exactly step by step how you get started. So make sure you sign up for this incredible event with Marcus De Maria, who has more than 20 years of experience in the financial markets. There's nobody you can learn from. So that being said, if you like the video as well, press that like button and don't forget to subscribe and press that alarm bell to make sure you get notifications when we're posting these new videos so you can be updated what is happening in the market and what actions maybe you need to take. And comment below as well, what opportunities are you getting into at the moment? Share with the community, and if there's anything you need, we are here for you. So that being said, everyone, I really hope you enjoyed the trades of the week this week. And from myself, Keith, and our whole team, have a great trading week, and we look forward to seeing you on the next trades of the week.